Welcome to another exciting episode of
Love, Beats, and Marriage. As you all can see, we've switched it up a little bit this week. I switched up my hair too, ponytail. So, just like marriage, we gotta switch it up. Make it exciting.
Yeah, I think it's cool. I think we should start this from now on, not just always be in the same location, because the optics of it really helps. And they've done surveys on this of people who've been interviewed and the background and the location, how it just stimulates the brain. And I think for us, doing a show like this, I think it just adds a little more pizzazz or panache.
Pizzazz.
Yeah.
Pizzazz.
Yeah.
All right. So what are we talking about this week?
Today we're gonna
this month.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, today's show we're gonna be covering the top 10 marriage mistakes that people make while in a marriage, and we're just gonna have an open dialogue on some of these things and just hash it through, see what we've done right and see what we've done wrong, and just see where this ship goes.
All right.
I said ship, by the way.
Let's see. Let's take a vote of how many we each think we would have done on this list out of the 10. I don't know what the list is. I haven't seen it.
I would probably say 8. Just take a.
Me? You would say I've probably done 8?
Oh, I thought you were saying this
No,
together.
which one?
Oh, talking about each one of us?
How many of these mistakes do you think you've made? Not that we know them yet, but.
I'll say 8.
I would say I might have made 7 or 8.
I changed mine. 9. That's a hard 9.
I'd probably say
Leaning's
8.
probably almost all of them, but
We have no idea, right? You haven't looked through the whole list, right?
no, not the whole
Okay,
list.
we don't know how many, so I would say 8. Not having even seen the list, I probably made 8 of these mistakes.
Okay,
Right, so
let's just jump right to it and see.
Unfortunately.
All right, this list can be found on imom.com. That's IMOM.com. Yeah. The first one is taking your spouse for granted. It says, remember your spouse does not have to be there. They chose to be. And at any day and time, they can choose not to be there.
Dang.
They said they're not promoting divorce, but we have to remember that fact. And it's incredible that you two come together under those circumstances. So remember to celebrate those moments. So, what about you? You think you've taken me for granted?
I thought you were talking to the people out there.
No, I'm talking to you.
Oh, okay. You're looking out there. What about you?
They can't answer me back though. I was like, that would be. We may get there one day where, but then we have to be talking to a particular person.
Yeah. Okay. Do I think I've taken you for granted?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
In the marriage. Okay.
Yes.
How so?
I feel like all of these things are under marriage because we're married.
Give me an example.
I think I've taken you for class.
It's just opposite, baby.
Like I'm in class. Give me an example. Okay, so I feel like I can work probably, there's 24 hours in a day. I could probably not work necessarily at a job because I don't have a traditional job, but I could do activities, things that move the needle on our lives and ministry. I could probably do that.
I lost the screen, man.
Oh, okay. I could probably do that about 12 hours a day.
Okay.
And then be ready to go to bed.
Go to sleep. Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure I've taken you for granted as far as just overworking and then not leaving time for you during the course of many days.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I think I probably definitely taken you for granted for the standpoint of just the thought that you're going to be there to do certain things, whether it's tasks around the house or whether it's just being there for me when I may have questions or just want to talk or just want to spend some quality time together. So I think, and as both of us are artists as well, I think that's another dynamic because we both need our space to create, and we have our processes are different. So I'm a night owl. I like knocking my stuff out late night, where you want the lights cut off and the TV cut off at the same time every night. Trust me. She wakes up at how much longer are you gonna be up? I'm like, so I gotta, okay, so
but
now
you're
I gotta.
But you're not up creating. You're up watching anime.
Sometimes I'm doing that, and sometimes
If you're, okay, so bedroom, living room.
Mm-hmm.
If you're out here in the living room where currently we have stuff set up,
mm-hmm.
then it's fine. I'm in the bedroom and I'm sleeping.
Right.
But if you're in the bedroom watching anime at 2-3 o'clock in the morning.
Well, I mean, I don't disagree with you. I think sometimes too, there have been moments where I'll be out here on the computer making my beats and doing whatever, and you'll come in, how much longer are you gonna be up? Are you coming to bed? You know, you don't do that as much as you used to, but there are times of that, so it's just like, I'm not ready to go to bed, I'm creating. So
that's why I'm asking how much longer.
And then I'll get on your nerves sometimes when you'll be writing something in your head and I don't know, and I'll be talking to you like, babe, I'm working on something. I'm like, I don't see nothing. How was I supposed to know you working on something? I'm sitting in front of the computer, you know I'm working on something. So yeah,
you do the same when you're on your phone writing something, and I'll just bust in and give you the news of the day, or the minute, whatever.
So we're both guilty on taking each other for granted.
Yes.
Do you want to go to number 2?
Yeah, keeping secrets. So a marriage is no place for secrets. Even the small ones are a slippery slope, and we talked about that. We had a whole episode. A whole episode about.
So we already know we're guilty about that. So we don't even have to go in depth in that, because we got a whole episode that you can watch about that.
Yes.
Yeah.
We had some secrets.
Yeah.
One of us more secrets than the other. But anyway. Number 3, putting the kids first. Well, we can zoom right past that one because
you and I do not have any kids.
We don't have any kids yet. No. So you guys know what to pray for.
Yes.
Find your tie. Make some kiddos.
All right.
All right, number
4, letting the romance die.
We were just talking about this a couple of days ago.
Yes, we were.
Like, what can we do to help to keep the romance alive? So mom.com, is that what this is?
Yeah, imom.com.
Shout out to imom.com. I don't know why I felt like I needed to say it like that. So letting the romance die. Oh, you want to read that one?
No, you can read.
Okay. We know that in a marriage that lasts 40 plus years, which we're only on year 7.5 at this point.
In the hell.
You're going to have ups and downs in the romance department, and that's okay. But it does need to make an appearance every now and then. Yes.
Every now and then.
You gotta still keep those butterflies.
Yeah, and with me, I had to realize that in the marriage, romance didn't always mean sex, because for a lot of us guys, romance means sex. So that's something, even in 7.5 years in, I'm still working on, because I'm as my wife knows, I'm very physical. I'm a physical toucher. I love touching and doing other things. So my wife does not always have the strength to be up for those things. So I have to monitor myself, even when we're in bed and she's reading or working on something. I can get too touchy-feely, and that can...
Right, but that's also the whole work on something.
Her.
As I told y'all, I could work probably 20 out of 40 hours a day. I mean, there's no 40 hours a day. 20 out of 24 hours of the day. Right. So trying to create that white space to let romance actually be able to exist. Mm-hmm. So I do things like try not to work from the bed, but because there's a phone and the phone is like, you know, gives you an opportunity to work, that gets a little bit hard. So I do have to make sure to not work in the bed and just make the bedroom like separate from the world, basically. Right. I feel like that's a big part of romance. I don't think in 7.5 years that I've really brought the laptop. Like, I know a lot of people work from their bed all the time, and they always have their laptop in the bed with them. I don't know if that is hindering any romance for anybody else, but I just don't like. I don't like to bring that work
Right.
laptop in the bed, basically.
Yeah, I mean, a funny story I just thought about while you were talking is the fact that I remember earlier on in our marriage where you became very upset with the fact that I started to spend a lot of time on my phone, which I was. I was guilty of it. Totally guilty.
Because when we first met, you weren't on the phone at all. Like the first time you came to see me, we met in your city, and when you came to my city to see me, I was like, your phone was dying and you put it to charge up, and I said, well, do you need to get your phone? You're like, no, it's fine. So I was like, dang, he doesn't even care about being on his phone. He doesn't even care if his phone is with him. This is great.
Right. But here's when the tomfoolery starts to happen for me, is when we drive, usually I do like 98% of the driving. Not that my wife don't want to drive, it just, I don't mind driving. But my wife would make comments like when I didn't want to drive, and she would drive, she's like, oh, you just want to get on your phone. And I'd be like, okay, cool, she got me. But then every time that I'm driving, she was always on her phone. And I'm like, what is it you think you're doing? So I'm like,
because you play game, you play one particular game on your
but
phone.
You were always you were scrolling some, checking some out, and like this or
work.
Not always work, babe.
My work is ministry.
So you gonna wrap everything gonna be
all together.
In swaddling clothes.
When I'm ministry. On social media, 90% of that time is work.
Shout out to us if you have similar circumstances. But we rode this dead horse long enough, so let's go to the next one. Yeah. So we were both guilty of that.
Yes, we're both guilty of that. So maybe what is one or two things that we said that we would do to not let the romance die?
Well, with me, I told my wife personally this morning, because this game I play a lot called Hearthstone. I played this game over years, a lot. But I told her, I was like, hey, for the next month, I ain't gonna be on that game. And
Prayer works.
And I played this game for almost like 4 years. So
prayer works.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah. And plus there's some other things I need to dedicate myself. So I know if I'm less focused on that game, then I'll make focus to hopefully spark up some romanticism. So yeah.
All right. So what is one thing I said? I said
date night.
Yeah, date night, and also just games, because not like sex games necessarily, but just games where it's like, okay, let's have a game night, and then we're laughing and we're joking, and you feel great.
And we playing those game nights hoping it will lead to the sex night.
Right. Next thing.
Okay, next thing.
Wait, what is this list again? Things that you...
10 mistakes that all married people make in a marriage. Yeah.
All right. Number 5 is keeping score. If you operate in a marriage like an accountant, constantly keeping tabs of who did which task and who screwed up, you'll make everybody crazy. Make up your mind. We had a
video on that too. In that same video, we talked about keeping score and stuff.
Okay, so y'all have to go back and watch that. Make up your mind to give more of your fair share than your spouse will likely. Oh, and your spouse will likely follow suit. So don't keep score. I think there are times when I want to keep score, but then I remember how many times I feel like you didn't keep score. For instance, prime example. Yesterday, I do most of the laundry. Yesterday, Mike decided to do some laundry, which is great. I'm very thankful. But there was something in the laundry basket that I shouldn't have put in there. But I put it in there because I usually do the laundry, so I know not to wash it or to dry it. But it was dirty, so I usually wash it by hand, but I put it in there because I knew it needed to be washed. So Mike didn't know that. He put it in the laundry, in the washing machine, and then I didn't know that. And then he put it in the dryer, and then I didn't know that either. So by the time it came out, it was like strings falling off everywhere. Just it's pretty messed up now. And it was one of my favorite shirts, shawl. I really don't know what it's called.
Right.
It's kind of like this shawl thing, but it has like these cool tassel strings, and so it's damaged now. And I was like so tempted to be mad and to keep score. Like, this is one of those things I'm never gonna forget.
You were hot.
I was upset, but then I remembered. And I was like so tempted to be mad and to keep score. Like, this is one of those things I'm never gonna forget.
You were hot.
I was upset, but then I remembered the time that we went to Asia and Pierre's wedding. Shout out to Asia and Pierre. And we hadn't been married very long, because I think they got married maybe a year after we did. I'm not sure. But I done laundry and I put some stuff in the dryer, and one of those was a fairly new shirt, and the shirt shrunk, but did not know this. So we drove from Dothan to Atlanta.
Because we had it on a hanger. My wife was like, don't wear it because you'll wrinkle it up. Just put it on once we get there.
Because we had a 3-hour drive
to
get to Atlanta.
Whatever.
So we got to our friends in Atlanta. We're getting dressed. And then Mike put on this shirt. It looked like a muscle shirt. It was so tight. But there was he didn't have another dress shirt. We were cutting time close, so we had to get to the wedding. And he ended up having to wear this super tight shirt to the wedding.
Yeah.
And didn't complain one time.
Right.
So as I thought about the shirt that I had I could still wear it. It just looks kind of different. As I was thinking about that, I was like, yeah, there's really no reason for me to be super upset, because it's not like I have to wear this out like he had to wear that tight shirt out. So
yeah.
There goes keeping score.
There you go, keeping score. Okay. So let's go to number 6, flirting with disasters. Say, if you're flirting with anyone besides your spouse, you're flirting with disasters. Just don't do it. Ever. That's what it says.
Don't. Yeah, I had to look because I thought you added the ever. It does say ever.
Now, I can say this, like especially early on in our marriage, I'm a talkative, joking type guy. So working around female coworkers, I had to watch myself after a while from doing it, because I was noticing that how that could have, spawned into something else.
Yeah.
So I had to be very careful of that. Once when it was on my radar, but it wasn't on my radar to probably like months after the fact. And I don't remember exactly what happened that made me, it's like, hey, this needs to be on your radar. You need to watch it. I don't even remember. But yeah, I was definitely guilty of that, because we were watching the show, and the two characters the other night, we're not gonna say the show, so don't say the show, man. Okay. But they were having banter, and I know I'm the king of banter. I can go with the best of them, and I would have those moments where with some of my coworkers, we would just be playing blah blah blah, and so and I had to watch myself with that. So I was like, okay, yeah, I have to watch myself with that one.
I know one day you came home and you told me about a lady, and I think we might have mentioned this in a previous episode. You told me there was a lady that came in, and I don't know if you said you thought she was flirting with you or something. So then I kept asking you like every day, hey, did that lady come back?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I used to get flirted on. Yeah, I used to get, I'm sure my wife as well. I've seen it in person, but my wife hadn't seen when I was getting flirted on, because usually I was at work. So,
right, yeah. When we first started dating, someone left a note on my car after we had gone to church together. So I don't know if this person didn't see us going together, but came out and there was a note on my car asking me, did I want to go on a date or something? But yeah, flirting with other people is definitely a recipe for disaster. So don't do it. 7, getting marriage advice in all the wrong places.
I don't think I've
When things are tough in your marriage, you may need some wise counsel. Wise. And not wrong places. Don't go to your friend who is also experiencing problems in her marriage and start complaining about yours. That's not a good idea.
Or single friends that sleep around a lot.
Oh yeah, those for sure. Or that coworker who you feel like maybe was flirting with you, or you don't even know if the coworker was flirting with you, but you go to them for advice and tell them all about your marriage problems. I've heard so many stories of women who've gone to other women, and I'm not saying this because you can't be friends with women. I definitely believe in having female friends for myself, like to keep me accountable, all that good stuff, that women need each other. But I've heard terrible stories about women who have complained about their husbands to other women, and then guess what? When they get divorced, guess who is now married to the ex-husband? That friend that was like, yeah, girl, you need to leave him. Well, she just wanted you to leave him so he could come home with her.
Yeah, and you got to be comfortable though. Careful, because I don't think we really talked about that since we've been married. But the fact you have to, like my wife just brought up, I like most of all of the people my wife call friends. I'm cool with. I think they're cool. But you have to watch when you're going through something with your spouse. And at first, when the good times, you talking about how great this person is.
Yeah.
And then let's say this person may be in a situation where they don't have anybody at the time, and they're like, oh man, she always blowing him up like he the king of the castle. Woo, 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 woo. And then so when adversity comes, you run to that same friend and you tell. But in their mind, I'm not saying it's like that, but in their mind, they could already built this new life and fantasy around, so they could be like, okay, so they having tough times. Let me go ahead and free her up from him then. So. You never know. Stranger things have happened.
Yeah, definitely got to use wisdom, really, in all of it. Just pray and ask God who you can confide in, who you can talk to. And if you go to your spouse and they're still, you don't feel like it's getting anywhere, talk to your pastor,
or seek counseling.
Some kind of leader, go to counseling.
There's nothing wrong with seeking counseling. We all need it.
Yeah, for sure. Right. So number 8.
Not making time.
Oh no, babe, that's 9.
Oh, number 8. I'm saying taking more than you listen. Oh, talking more. I like taking more.
I was like what? How you gonna take more than you listen? But okay.
Talking more than you listen. Understanding another person requires that you listen to them, and listen hard. Marriage is no exception to this. Don't assume that you know what your husband or wife is feeling or what he or she is going to say, especially in the moments of conflict.
Yeah.
I'm guilty of that. I go ahead and say I'm guilty of that.
Talking more than I listen. Do I do that?
Sometimes, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Especially if you're heated about something.
Oh yeah. I asked because in there it was saying like, don't assume that you know what your spouse is feeling. I know I
or
do
going
that.
to say.
I know I do. I do assume that I know how he's feeling based on what he's done. I'm like, well, you must not have cared because you did X, Y, Z, or you must not have heard me because you did the opposite. Mm-hmm. So, I would say that I'm guilty of that. Yeah, you're right. Especially if I'm upset. But I have noticed lately that I don't know if it's because we're trying to finish each other's sentences, but I have noticed lately that that I've said to you, like, can I finish what I was saying? Because you'd be like, yeah. Well, I wasn't done talking though, so I'm not sure how you know already what to say yeah to.
Yeah, I've been super guilty of that. So, and I think that's another thing, too, that it's not on the list, but owning up to when you're wrong or you're in the wrong. Yeah. I think that's something that's missing from the list is if you've done something either to offend a person or it can be small, menial, it doesn't matter. But to be the first one to say, hey, I was wrong at that, or my bad, or I apologize.
You're really good at that.
Yeah, to a fault in some senses, I think. Because you said it. You said that. You know,
I've said.
It's like stop apologizing.
Oh
Stop saying
yeah,
you're sorry.
yeah. No, like if there is like a blow up or something, which I think are very rare, or we have some type of disagreement, I think we've both gotten fairly good at saying, "Hey, I'm sorry. I know I feel like I say that was my fault a lot, but you apologize for stuff that you didn't do. Like if we're both walking and I happen to fall, you'll say, I'm sorry. I'm like, well, did you trip me? I don't understand. I don't understand why you're saying you're sorry. So, but yeah, you keep going to 10. We're on number 9.
Oh.
Not making time is number 9. Does your spouse have to fight to get on your calendar? And this goes with the other one, the not letting romance die and taking your spouse for granted. I think those two kind of go together.
Mm-hmm.
So it says more stuff, but I think we get the gist. Not making time, like,
yeah, I've been guilty of that.
Yeah, I definitely am, and I'm trying not to be such a time whatever, like just filling all my time with things that are important and things that can help us and grow our finances and help ministry and help other people. But I have to really make a conscious choice to say, okay, let me stop now, let me close the laptop down, let me get off my phone, and let me make time for us.
Yeah.
So,
because like I said, we're both artists, and for me, at earlier on, and I've gotten a lot better. I feel it's like my wife is out there. I used to feel like she had to always be exposing herself in the sense of I gotta be on social media, I gotta do these photo shoots, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. And I used to have the attitude where it's like, okay, I understand that, but do you really have to do all of that all the time? So, I mean, and I'm the type of artist where I had to realize that she's not like me. Even though we share the same love and appreciation for our music ministries, we're in different ways of how we get there and what we do to get there than each other. And that's a big thing, to being able to accept one's gifts and not to expect them to be like you in that process, not to be like you. Because me, as far as, for example, like pictures, I can care less, but I know there's a purpose for that. So, just working through those things and not taking time, doing all those things. Yeah, like when I'm making beats or she's writing poetry or she's looking for ministry, we're not spending any of that time together, even though we may be in the same space at the same time. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think making time is our biggest thing that we need to always remember to work on. So the last one.
All right. Avoiding tough conversations. So avoiding conflict conflict won't make the source of it disappear. It will only bury it for a while. Learn how to have tough conversations fairly, with love, and with the eye toward compromise and resolution.
So don't avoid those tough conversations. And I think that's, as fun as this is to do Love Beats a Marriage, it definitely, I can think of at least one episode so far where it was kind of tough. So, but yeah, I don't think we're guilty. I think in the first couple of years we might have been guilty of avoiding tough conversations, just because you don't know what's acceptable for real and what's not. Right. And even still, there's still tough conversations. Like, I know you like certain things and I know I don't. So it's like
wrestling.
I don't want to have to, not, that's small, that's a minor thing, but like bigger things that I may not like that you're excited about, and I have to say, hey, I know I've been doing this with you for X amount of years, or letting you rub my feet a million times a day when I don't want you to. Which I know that's crazy. Women are probably watching like, he wants to rub your feet, girl, just let him rub your feet. But it
not really just rub it, but massage.
It gets a little weird.
Okay. There's other parts of your body I massage too, but okay. We'll leave it at that. It's been a really fun and informative. And time just flew by on this episode.
It did. So, sit down with your spouse. Maybe go over this list. That's on what?
imom.com.
We're giving imom.com so much plug today.
You didn't see that, I almost fell. But okay, we're just gonna leave that where it is.
Yeah, maybe find this list of top 10 marriage mistakes. We'll put a link in here somewhere and let you all go and check it out for yourselves. So that's Sunday night. We didn't even introduce ourselves.
People know who we are by now.
It could be their first time watching us, so we apologize.
But yeah, we'll catch you next episode.
Sorry. All right, that's Sunday night. You're supposed to say I'm Sunny Night. And that's Ty Scott King. Thank y'all so much for watching another episode of Love Beats and Marriage. Hashtag.
This is for my mama. Love ya, love ya, love ya.
Wait, we're not done. Hashtag LBM Kings. Now we're done.
Hashtag LBM Kings. There you go.